Welcome to Success Chronicles, the show where we uncover the real strategies behind how the world's wealthiest people think, earn, and build their empires. Today, we're diving into one of the biggest financial mysteries of our time: how two of the richest men on the planet, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, officially take home a salary of just $1, or in Musk's case, zero. It's a fraction of what most people make, yet they live with private jets, sprawling estates, and fortunes worth hundreds of billions. How can their paychecks be officially worthless? If you think this is just a humble, symbolic gesture, you're only seeing the surface. We're about to break down the 3 genius strategies they use to legally build billions in wealth without a traditional paycheck. By the end of this video, you'll understand the real and frankly brilliant story behind the $1 salary myth. So stay tuned until the end, and if you want to keep learning how success and money really work, make sure to subscribe and join the Success Chronicles community. When a headline pops up about a billionaire CEO taking a $1 salary, it's always framed as a story of sacrifice, a way to show dedication and solidarity with shareholders. And to be fair, this isn't a new idea. The tradition of dollar-a-year men actually started back in World Wars I and II, when top industry leaders offered their services to the US government for a symbolic dollar. They did this because the government couldn't legally accept volunteer work. The idea later moved into the corporate world. Chrysler CEO Lee Iacocca famously took a $1 salary in the 1970s to show he was all in on turning around the struggling company. It was a powerful symbol, saying, "I believe in this company so much, I'll bet on its future instead of taking a guaranteed paycheck." But for billionaires like Musk and Zuckerberg, that symbolism is just the beginning. Turning down a big salary isn't a sacrifice, it's step 1 in a masterclass on building wealth. So if they aren't getting paid in cash, how do they make money? The answer is simple. They don't want a salary, they want equity. A salary is predictable, taxed heavily, and tied to showing up for work. Equity, on the other hand, means ownership. It comes in the form of stock awards and stock options, which are worth millions or even billions. That ownership is the cornerstone of their entire financial plan. Elon Musk's pay at Tesla is the perfect example. He gets a grand total of $0 in salary. Instead, his entire 2018 pay package was based on performance stock options. He only receives massive chunks of stock if Tesla hits incredibly ambitious goals, both in market value and financial performance. If Tesla failed, Musk would get nothing, but if it succeeded, his reward would be billions in stock. This setup aligns his incentives perfectly with shareholders. When Tesla's stock rises, everyone wins, and his wealth grows in a way that's far more tax efficient than a salary ever could be. Mark Zuckerberg operates the same way. His official salary is $1, but his wealth comes from his huge ownership stake in Meta. His fortune literally rises and falls with the value of the company he built. Think of it like this. You can manage one coffee shop for $100,000 a year, or you can own 20% of a growing coffee chain. The manager's income is fixed and taxed heavily, but the owner's wealth explodes if the business scales. You stop caring about the cash register and start focusing on growing the empire. That's exactly how Musk and Zuckerberg think. Why take cash when you can own the machine that prints it? Now, let's talk about taxes, because this is where their strategy turns from smart to genius. Most people's income is taxed as ordinary income, their salaries, wages, and bonuses, at rates that can reach up to 37% in the US, plus state taxes. If Musk or Zuckerberg took a $1 billion salary, nearly half of it would vanish to taxes immediately. But capital gains are taxed differently. This tax only applies to the profit you make when you sell something that's grown in value. like stock. The best part? You only pay when you sell. As long as you hold, your stock can grow from $1 billion to $100 billion, and you won't owe a penny. Those are called unrealized gains. And when you finally do sell, the rate is much lower, usually between 0 and 20%. So while regular employees lose nearly half their income to taxes every year, billionaires let their wealth grow untaxed indefinitely and only pay a small fraction later, if ever. That's why a big salary isn't a blessing, it's a tax trap. But there's one more layer, the ultimate move that lets them live like billionaires without ever selling stock or paying income taxes. It's called buy, borrow, die. Here's how it works. First, they buy. They build up massive amounts of appreciating assets, mostly stock. Second, they borrow. Instead of selling shares, they use their stock as collateral to take out loans from banks. Because it's a loan, not income, they pay no taxes on the money they borrow. They can live off those loans, funding private jets, mansions, and everything else, all while paying little to no tax. And finally, they die. When they pass away, their heirs inherit the stock, and thanks to a U.S. tax rule called the step up in basis, all the unrealized gains are wiped clean. The cost basis of the stock resets to its current market value. So if Musk bought Tesla shares at $1 and they're worth $1,000 when he dies, his heirs inherit them at $1,000, meaning they can sell with almost no tax owed. The wealth continues across generations untouched. That's the brilliance of the system. They buy assets, borrow against them to live, and pass them on tax-free. It's not a loophole, it's the law, and the ultra-wealthy play it perfectly. So, the mystery of the $0 salary? Solved. It's not a publicity stunt, it's a deliberate, highly sophisticated financial strategy. They're not giving up money, they're building empires. To sum it up, they build wealth through equity, not salary. They grow it tax-deferred through capital gains, and they fund their lives by borrowing against assets tax-free. It's the ultimate wealth cycle, and it's how the ultra-rich get rich, stay rich, and pass it on. If you enjoyed this episode of Success Chronicles and want more deep dives that uncover how the world's wealthiest people truly operate, make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and leave a comment on what financial mystery we should uncover next. Because understanding how money really works, that's the first step to mastering your own success story.